So, you've heard about semen retention before. And you can kind of hear two sides, right? You can hear, I did this practice and it's love and light and whatever, and I'm connecting energetically or emotionally with my woman, which in my opinion is great, beautiful, and necessary. But we can get too off of that woo-woo, love and light, and you lose a part of yourself. There's the other side, where you can lift more, you have more confidence, and you're making more money. Maybe you don't know why. Women are attracted to you. So which one is it, or how do you navigate this? How do you navigate both sides? And for you tuning in, you're gonna find out, if you don't already know, the power of this practice. And it's more than just semen retention, so stay tuned, it's more than that. Bro, there's a fucking animal inside you. And when you practice this, there's opening your heart, but being connected to the fire in your balls. And in a lot of men's stuff, we can be alpha and aggressive, and we got the car, we got the chick, we got the money, and we're disconnected from this. Or we can sit around and sing songs and hug each other at a cacao ceremony or mushrooms or ayahuasca and cry and talk about our feelings. Those things are good. But we can get lost in that and become, saying it nicely, a wimp, right? When you start respecting this energy, when you start holding this energy, when you start moving this energy as well, life shifts fast. If you're watching this today, I challenge you to go a week without ejaculating, a week without coming. If you have a girlfriend, tell her. Tell her that when you master this process, short sex will be 30 or 45 minutes, long sex will be like 4.5 hours. So probably somewhere in the middle. But when you start to cultivate and master this energy, it moves different too. Because when we get stuck in the pure lust phase, I know that very well. I think most men, we experience forced monogamy. It's not something we choose at 20 years old. It's just, we know if we don't want a girlfriend, that's how it works. We do or don't investigate the Playboy phase, which is good to go through. For me, that was hookers, sex, drugs, sex clubs, you name it, three-ways, whatever. But that's super unfulfilling. You can read Dan Blazarian's book. He can tell you how unfulfilling it is, how fun it is, but how empty it is. And when we're integrating this energy well and cultivating it, we can bring ourselves to something with a different level of awareness, a different level of connection to ourselves, a different level, like there's a lightning bolt of electricity between your balls and your heart. Because the truth is, women actually want both. Women will go for the alpha guy, but then need to meet their emotional needs somewhere else. It's not saying you shouldn't be alpha. If you're alpha, be alpha. But when you get lost in achievement, external validation. So let's call it the alpha shadow and control. Or they'll like to, open up and share their feelings with the beta guy who kind of lost his balls, or pretty much lost his balls, and he's blaming feminism or something else outside himself rather than strapping them back on. When we start to go inward and connect with this power, it unleashes something different inside of us. There's something so much more to you that's inside of you. And I don't know how you grew up. I'm 40. I grew up to being a teenager and running out, riding my dirt bike to the woods and trading porno magazines, right? And then that got better online. It wasn't that good 25 years ago. It took a long time to download something on LimeWire or something. But it's conditioned, and it's acceptable that we just waste this energy. And in some cultures, the more women you sleep with, like even if you're married and cheat, the more man you are. Or we don't know how to integrate the energy, and we're married, but we're meeting our needs through porn. And we're like, I don't know how to talk about that with my wife. I'd like to try this, but it's too weird. Which really also means she doesn't feel that safe with you, probably, and doesn't trust your leadership fully, even if she wants to trust your leadership. So we do this dance of looking at porn, of wasting energy, of being kind of confused. We're entering a time now when there's a higher calling that's coming for men. And there's going to be a lot of guys that'll totally miss. We're going into the most radically different planet we've ever had. And I don't think anyone knows what that means, to make it even wilder. And that's been happening for the last 5 years. It'll probably happen for another 20 or so. If you don't have this fuel source, or if you waste it, life is just different. And it's a thing that you don't really know until you know. Because if someone tells you you could go to the gym 4 times a week, and you eat this much protein, and you eat more greens and healthy fruits and blah, 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 you know, on an intellectual level, that's healthy, right? You've seen other people do it. But once you do that for 90 days, you're like, oh, now I know. With retaining, which is kind of a boring way of looking at it, having a different devotion to yourself, or a different commitment to yourself, who you are, your path, the woman you're with, the woman you want to be with, the kids you have, the kids you're gonna have, your purpose, if you've discovered that, or if you're in your process of discovering, which now would be a good time to decide you're gonna look for that, because that's moving you forward. When we have this connection and this energy, everything works differently. It's like we become a magician. Something that didn't work before now works. But the key is the integration of the heart and the balls. Women want both. Women don't want a spiritual new age pussy guy. Yeah, I said it. But they'll like it at first, and then they'll realize, oh, this guy's kind of a wimp. I feel emotionally safe, she'll say, but I don't know if I feel physically or like primally safe. Or he'll really take me in the bedroom. He'll be nice and delicate. Or the other guy that's aggressive, needs to be in charge, has to be in control, is actually afraid, but he's achieved a lot more shit. And what I'm here to tell you is you don't need to choose between one or the other. You can have both. But it's not really both, it's an integrated thing where it's a higher level of both. However, you're never gonna know if you don't start. So is this a video for me to teach you to never ejaculate again? No. What I would share is that there's an incredible power living in you that very few men will have the courage or the balls to awaken. And it's there, it's like a gift that you can choose to unwrap it or just throw it in the garbage every time we watch porn or something. But this power, this connection to ourselves, this connection to God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it lives inside of you. And when it's channeled between your balls and your heart, it's a different level. Life becomes very, very, very magical. Stuff that seems impossible falls into your lap. So if you were to think about it, do you even know? Do you ejaculate every day? Do you ejaculate once a week? Do you have no idea? There are these different Tao charts of whatever your age is, you minus this, and it gives you an idea of, how often is, you should at least wait 3 days if you're 20. If you're 40, you wait 10 days, these different theories, which is I think a good rule of thumb. It's different to go on this path at 20, at 30, at 40. There's different opportunities, different challenges. We're kind of testosterone retarded at 20. We're a little kooky. So our hormones can lead us a bit more. And then when we come into ourselves, it changes. I also invite you, as you're watching this, if you just see this video and it's your first exposure to me or second or whatever, start to track for the next month how many times you do it. We can keep a journal and notice, how do you feel? If you go and get drunk and watch porn and masturbate 3 times, how do you feel after that, or how do you feel the next day? And you can couple the religious shame on top of it, which even if we went down a more integrated spiritual path, there's still some of that can show up that we're not supposed to do it. but to actually understand energetically, physiologically, the power of this force that lives between you. So, have you ever taken the time to pause, to not look at porn, to not go on? Maybe your problem is you have too much great luck on Tinder. I know that problem from years past, not anymore. So I invite you, I challenge you to start to understand and to honor the power that lives between your legs. And fire in your balls and an open heart. When you figure out how to master that combination, you just increasingly become more attractive, more magnetic, more irresistible to life, and more irresistible to women. I'm talking about the business of women on the next video. Thanks for tuning in, gents. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.